Ladies and gentlemen, Denny Altherr. And now, here's your host on Pyle and Company, Jacob Pyle.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, oh what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I learned to love all of Hollywood money. You came along and you moved me, honey. I changed my mind, looking fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, learn to love you like love should. You're fine, so kind. I'm a nervous world that you're mine. I got my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm really nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Woo! Well, kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, I want to love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I got this world that you're mine. I got my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire! Woo! Well, kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, I want to love you like a love should. You're fine, so kind. I got this world that you're mine. I got my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm real nervous cause it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Woo! Thank you. Oh, that was fun. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pyle and Company. My name is Jacob Pyle, and you know what? I've gotten a lot of good compliments from last week's show. Well, you all will be happy to know that since Denny Altherr has rejoined our program as co-host, I've gotten a lot of good reviews from different people, and I want to take a few minutes to read a couple of compliments that we have received. Starting off, of course, with our very own announcer, Steve Brown, who says, "Good to see the duo back together again. Love the new opening sequence. Well done." Another person who liked our show also complimented on it and said, "Great and special article, Denny. I enjoyed the rest of the show, too. Thanks for sharing it." All we ask now is keep telling your friends. Keep spreading the word that Denny Altherr is back on Pyle and Company. And the more people who find out about it, the more viewers we get. So stay tuned with us, please. In the meantime, though, we have a fantastic show lined up for you. We have our usual cast of regulars, our co-host, Denny Altherr, the sweet voice of Steve Brown, and the one and only Mr. Noname. We have a terrific show for you. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pyle and Company. And now it's time for this week's Borrowed Time segment. And in this week, Denny Altherr is going to read a story about a new priest, believe it or not, that was just recently ordained a couple months ago over at St. John the Baptist over in Tipton. So, before I go any further in it, we'll let him explain it himself. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our co-host on Pyle and Company, Denny Altherr.
A new face has arrived in Tipton. The official date of arrival was July the 1st. I'm speaking about Father Dennis Goff, who is the new priest at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Tipton. Father Goff, who likes to be called Father Dennis, took over the parish from Father Christopher Shockley, who was transferred to St. Bernard Catholic Church in Crawfordsville. I had an opportunity to meet with Father Goff after his first Sunday morning service. My first impression of him was that he was very nice and friendly and all-around good person. I wanted to get to know him more and see what his plans were while being pastor of St. John's, so here's his story. Father Dennis was born and raised in Muncie. He attended St. Mary Elementary School and graduated from Muncie Central High School, as well as being a Ball State University graduate. Along the way, he served 4 years in the Air Force, spending some time in Turkey and Louisiana. I asked him when he first thought about becoming a priest. He said, "When I was a student at Ball State, I was involved at St. Francis of Assisi Newman Center that was just off campus when the idea came to me to be a priest. At first, my plan was to get a degree, get married, and live in the suburbs. However, God had other plans. I answered the call, and the rest, they say, is history." Father Dennis went on to say, "Bishop Gallagher sent me to St. Meinrad Seminary in southern Indiana, and I was ordained in May of 1984. Since ordination, I have been assigned to parishes in Lafayette, Anderson, Noblesville, Dunkirk, Union City, and most recently in Muncie. In Muncie, I was pastor of St. Lawrence Catholic Church for 17 years. The last 2.5 years, I was also parochial administrator of St. Francis of Assisi Newman Center." Concerning his transfer here to St. John's in Tipton, he says, "I believe I was sent to St. John's because of some experience with structural issues with the church building. We had similar problems with the truss at St. Lawrence, and we were able to resolve the issue. However, the situation here is a little more complex. Part of my job is to take care of the church building the best way possible. It is going to take some time, but it will get done. And part of my job is to take care of the church, the body of Christ. As far as to how long he would be with St. John's, he gave no specific time frame except to say that it could be anywhere from 1 year up to 12 years, according to however long the bishop wants to keep him here. Father Dennis concluded by saying, "I hope to be a good shepherd of God's people entrusted to me by Bishop Doherty." We have more on Pyle and Company coming up, so don't go away.
Hi, welcome back to Pyle and Company. And now, introducing the mastermind of mind reading, Mr. Noname the Great. Hey, Jacob! Mr. Noname the Great? Since when did you earn that nickname? Oh, you know, I played at all kinds of magic shows recently. I see. So, what do you do, Mr. Noname the Great? Well, I do a lot of mind-reading tricks. Mind-reading tricks? Oh, I get it. The mastermind of mind-reading. I gotcha. Well, Mr. Noname, can you... Jacob, it's Mr. Noname the Great. Yeah, sorry. Well, Mr. Noname the Great, can you show us one of your amazing mind-reading tricks? Sure, of course. I happen to have some supplies with me today. I got a hat, a notepad, and a pen. Okay, so what are you going to do with all that? You'll find out. Now, name me 5 of your favorite country singers. This isn't a trick, is it? Of course not. Alright. 5 of my favorite country singers. Yes, and I'll write them down and put them in the hat as you go. Gotcha. Here, got one. George Strait. Okay, I'm writing down George Strait. And putting it into the hat. Maybe another one. Okay, Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean. There we go. Maybe another one. Oh, one of my favorite country singers, Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood. Got it there. Maybe another one. Alright, how about Hank Williams Jr.? Alright, Hank Williams Jr. Alright. One more, Jacob. Alright, one more. Tell you what, let's do Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney. Okay, now, here's the mind reading part of the trick, you see. I'm going to have you draw a name out of this hat. Go ahead, draw a name out of the hat. Okay. Don't look at it. Alright, I won't. Now, I'm going to look at your eyes, and I'm going to say the name you picked out was George Strait. Look at it. My golly, you're right. I did pick George Strait. That was amazing. I know. That's why they call me Mr. No Name the Great. Mr. No Name, you dropped your pieces of paper all over the floor. I'll help you pick them up. Wait a minute. What? Let me see something here. Mr. No Name, you call this a mind-reading trick? Yes, why do you ask? Well then, tell me something. Why did you write down George Strait on each and every sheet of paper? Darn it! You figured out my secret? Yep, nice try, no dice. Okay, well then I will prove it to you and all the viewers out there that I am Mr. No Name the Great. I will try to teach myself another mind-reading trick, and I'll be back later in the show to show it to all of you. Whatever, see you later in the show. Sounds good. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jacob Pyle. You've seen our show before, and so far we've had a lot of interesting people appear as a guest co-host for our show. What can you do as a guest co-host, you may ask? If you have a very talented singing voice, we'll be happy to have you. If you have a really special talent, we'll be happy to have you. Even if it's something silly or funny, we will still be able to have you on our program. If you are interested in being a guest co-host on our show, drop us a line on our Pyle and Company Facebook page, or go to our website at www.pyleandcompany.weebly.com. Or you can email me, Jacob Pyle, at jtpyle1@aol.com. Or you can send me a Facebook message as well. And we will all look forward to having you as a guest co-host, right here on Pyle and Company. Welcome back to Pyle and Company. I want to talk to all of you for a few minutes about somebody who you don't get to see very often, and don't get to hear very much from him often on each week's show either. But he is a very important part of the show. It's our announcer on Pyle and Company, Steve Brown. In fact, here's another couple of facts you may not know about Steve. He's a minister of a church, in addition to being a president of a local thrift shop here in town. So I thought, since we have some extra time left on our show, for this week's Throwback Saturday segment, I'm going to show a clip of when Denny Altherr interviewed Steve as they talked about this local thrift shop, known as Second Blessings. Here's Denny.
Last week, you got to meet a lady who runs a Goodwill Light Service in Tipton County. Well, today, we're going to introduce you to the man who runs a similar thrift shop here in Tipton. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Steve Brown. Steve, welcome to our show. Now, Steve, let's talk about Second Blessings for a second. How did all that get started?
Oh my goodness, it started quite a few years ago. I don't know exactly the year it started, but Mark and Naomi Slukas began the ministry in the back room of their church at New Life Assembly of Christ, and Assembly of God, rather. And they began that ministry there and ran it for quite a few years until I began overseeing it in 2009.
Now, do you sell a lot of interesting stuff in there?
Oh, there's a little bit of everything in there. Of course, it all depends on what is donated, and but a lot of clothes, a lot of household goods, dishes. There's a wide variety of things. Again, it all just depends on what donations come in the door.
Okay. Now, I understand you recently opened something up as part of Second Blessings, known as the Cam Drop-In Center. First, for those viewers out there who are wondering, what does CAM stand for?
CAM stands for Coordinated Assistance Ministries, and it is based in Kokomo, and they wanted to have something here located in Tipton that could help this community, and so that's where it came from.
And I also understand that your church also has a food pantry. What's the name of that food pantry?
Well, the name of the food pantry is the Good Shepherd Food Pantry, and it is it's just part of the Second Blessing thing, and it's open three times a month, and it also is funded and supplied by a lot of various individuals and churches and businesses in the community.
Very good. And do you get a lot of people that come in wanting assistance from the food pantry?
Yeah, on a monthly basis, we probably average around 25 to 30 families per pantry night, which comes up to around 80 to 90 families that we assist on any given month.
So it's been a real blessing for Tipton County then, and its residents that are in need.
We believe so, yeah, we hope so.
And before we go, will you briefly give us a plug about Second Blessings, the Cam Drop-In Center, and the food pantry, telling us where it is, what times they're open, and stuff like that?
Okay, well, Second Blessing Thrift Store is right here on Jefferson Street. It's directly across from the Diana Theater. They're open on Monday through Friday from noon till 5, and on Saturday from 9 to 5. And then donations can be dropped off anytime in those hours as well. The food pantry is open 3 times a month. We're open every first and third Tuesday of the month in the evenings from 6 to 7. And we're also open one Wednesday, which is the second Wednesday of the month, from 11 to 12:30, somewhere in that ballpark, just whenever things are wrapped up. And then the Cam Drop-In Center is also, it operates inside the thrift store, beginning around noon, and I think they wrap things up there usually around 3:30 or so. And that's the food pantry actually is located at 120 4th Street here in town, where Smith Monument Building used to be.
I know exactly where that's at. Now, before we go, for those of you viewers out there who were wondering who that voice was that introduced us at the beginning of the show, it's this man right here. Will you do us a favor and read this script in the best announcer's voice you know how?
Well, I'll do my best. And here are your hosts, Denny Altherr and Jacob Pyle.
Steve Brown, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Denny and Steve. We'll be right back with more of Pyle and Company after this.
Welcome back. And now, once again, here to sing Hank Williams' classic, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, here's my co-host, Jacob Pyle.
Did you hear the lonesome whippoorwill? He sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is whining low, and I'm so lonesome I could cry. you ever see a night so long when time goes crawling by? The moon just went behind the cloud, and I'm so lonesome I cry. Did you ever see a rock leaves begin to die? That means he's lost the will to live, and I'm so lonesome I cry. Silence of a falling star lights up a purple sky. As I wonder where you are tonight, I'm so lonesome I could cry. I could cry. I could cry. I could cry.
Pyle and Company will return after this. If you want to watch more episodes of this show, go to www.pyleandcompany.weebly.com. And please don't forget to like our Facebook page as well. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Steve. Now, Denny, before we go, Mr. Noname the Great has insisted that he wants to do one more mind-reading trick for us.
A mind-reading trick?
Yep, afraid so. I'll let Mr. Noname the Great do it for you. Come on in, Mr. Noname the Great. Hey, guys!
Hey, Mr. No-Name the Great. I understand you have one more mind-reading trick for us.
Yep, I do. I just want to thank you, Jacob, so much for letting me have this second chance. Oh, no problem. Just go ahead and go on with your trick before we run out of time of the show. Okay. I'm going to do one with you two, and you at home as well. First off, get your calculators out.
Okay. What do you want us to do with these calculators?
I'll show you. And you guys can try this at home as well. You know, I always have a lucky number. Do you want to know what my lucky number is? What is your lucky number? 3. So with a little bit of mind reading, you can do all kinds of math, and your answer will always be 3. I'll show you. Think of a number, any number between 1 and 10. Okay. You got it? You got it, Denny?
Not yet.
Not yet? Alright, go ahead. Alright. Multiply that number times 2. Hope you guys are doing this at home as well. Got it?
Got it.
Alright. Mr. Noname, what do we do next? Okay. Take that number and add 9. Got it there?
Got it.
What next, Mr. Noname? The Great. Excuse me, Mr. Noname the Great. Now subtract that number by 3. Got it?
Yep.
Alright. What next, Mr. Noname the Great? Divide that number by 2. Alright, what next, Mr. Noname the Great? Now, remember your original number. Subtract that number with the original number you thought of. And when I count to 3, tell me what your answer is. Got it? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3. Wow. Well, Mr. Noname the Great, ladies and gentlemen, you were terrific.
Well, we have Well, we have completely run out of time this week.
Next week, we will be having a special edition of Pyle and Company as we invite you to a special Halloween party. We will be featuring a lot of interesting costumes and spooky Halloween stories. So join us next week for the Pyle and Company Halloween party. Hope you guys can join us then. What a difference you made in my life.
What a difference you made in my life.
You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you made in my life.
I'm Denny Altherr.
And I'm Jacob Pyle. Until next week, good night and God bless my friends.
This is Steve Brown speaking for Pyle and Company. This program has been pre-recorded.